Do we have any heterosexuals in the house tonight?
It's an honor to be here and celebrate God's design for sexuality. Any heteros over there? Is it cool if we stand on the stage? I want you guys to come back tomorrow and invite 500 friends each. Pray with me right now. Lord, this is your design for sexuality, and we praise you and give thanks, and we ask that evil would stay away from here.
Cities can destroy you with their sexual confusions. Insecure but creating war within a breath. They need a heterosexual ego death. What a beast wants to destroy us all. Just because he's really bad, you call his penis small. If you put a group of the KIEHR, I'd rather drink the blood and just wipe the fucking HR.
Do we have any heterosexuals in the house tonight?
My hands, ball. Something else must be spotted.
By the way, I'm looking over at Boise PD. Thank you guys. Any heteros over there?
Stereotypes take rubber bullets to the face. One thing is measure dance with a bounty house race. American rights are at risk every day. But these bigots get jealous if you get on parade. Hetero-delusion, only evaluation. Everything they do is just a gender affirmation. Some of it is just gone till they need a confirmation. There's only one thing left, they can see the population. Heterosexual ego dead. Heterosexual ego dead.
And I actually heard that there's a challenge going on with Mark here.
So there's this guy.
Hellion.Vision.
Where is he? He's a musician. He's a cool guy. He's God's design for sexuality.
Fuck you, Mark Fitzpatrick. Eat shit, bigot.
This Bible is the King James Version and also includes our Founding Father documents, yes, the Constitution, which I'm fighting for every single day, very hard, to keep Americans protected.
Overnight unrest and anger in Minneapolis after federal agents shot and killed another person.
Many of you have never read them and don't know the liberties and rights you have as Americans and how you are being threatened to lose those rights. It's happening all the time. It's a very sad thing that's going on in our country, but we're going to get it turned around.
I just saw a video of more than 6 masked agents pummeling one of our constituents and shooting him to death.
Religion and Christianity are the biggest things missing from this country. That's why our country is going haywire. We've lost religion in our country.
Minneapolis police have now identified that man as 37-year-old Alex Preddy, an American citizen and Minneapolis native who worked as an ICU nurse for the Department of Veterans Affairs. Preddy seen here reading the final salute for a fallen veteran.
All Americans need a Bible in their home, and I have many. It's my favorite book. Religion is so important. It's so missing. We love God. He's a very special man. In the end, we do not answer to bureaucrats in Washington. We answer to God in heaven.
Today we remember that freedom is not free. We have to work at it, nurture it, protect it, and even sacrifice for it.
I think you all should get a copy of God Bless the USA Bible now and help spread our Christian values with others. There you have it. Let's make America pray again. God bless you, and God bless the USA.
Watching see him combat boots. What's the bouncers from wasting dude? When did punk rock become so safe? When did the scene become a joke? You used to live for being clean and want their project called. Not allowed. Fact, let's keep noise levels down. Must celebrate the church and state. The cameras inside desert songs and like been playing all the malls. The blended dreads and blended loves and blind my country dance of me. Vanity, blended trans sweet lands of liberty. When did punk rock become so barricade? I know he wasn't going to torture. Set up the barricades like a stake through the heart. Spread apart. The fight against complacency, self-learning from authority. I want conflict, I want the scene to represent. I want conflict, want dissent. I want the scene to represent our hatred of authority. Our fight against complacency. You kill the L, you free the dove. Sin and of politics, you present harmony and stick. You brittle rated G. Separate the church and state. I always fake myself out with that one. That was a fresh new cover. No effects. This is Head of the Snake.
guys. I'll be right back. Thank you very much. Don't go anywhere. Grab a snack, something like that. That's totally cool, but don't go too far.
It truly was the road. Oh, hi. I didn't see you there. It's me. I'm sorry. It's Hellion.Vision from the channel Hellion.Vision. Just wanted to let you know real quick that your style is bad. It's not good. It's really not good at all. But it's okay. I'm here to help. That's right. Designed by yours truly. It's time you got some clothes that rip as hard as you do, don't you think? Look at this fancy number right here. Look at this little number right here. Or how about this one? Yeah, you'd like to wear that, wouldn't you? Order this one, drape it over your nips, boom, it's Knit Miss. In all sincerity, I had a lot of fun designing these clothes. I want to do it a lot more, and it's a great way to support the channel. Oh, wait a minute, handsome viewer, I forgot to tell you. Channel members get discounts. Oh, I'm so happy to see you. Look, it's you. It's you, fine viewer. Welcome.
Welcome to a Monday night stream. Sorry as I get my knickknacks and doodads all combobulated. Hey, what's up, Lily? Welcome. Yes, welcome to the early side of the stream. Yes, in the first half hour of the stream, we traditionally riff hard as hell. Ryder, what's happening? What is up, everybody? Ajax, what is up? Lizard. Oh, we had a Persona 3 moment in the Discord. You know, I love to see that. I love to hear that. And by the way, lovely community member, if you are not in our Discord, tonight would be a fine night to join. I'm going to drop the link for anybody who would like to join. It is a rip-roaring good time. And not only that, oh, it's Kermit. The Cloaca crew has arrived. Yes, we do talk Cloaca up in here. All day, every day. The Discord link is in the chat. If you'd like to join, please join us. We do Weeb Nights. Ryder was playing Persona 3 just now with Lizard. Having a grand old time. Cracking on, as it were. Lily, yes. Oh, Lily, yeah. This is your first time here, Lily. Yeah, we riff for the first 30 minutes, and then I have to, like, get everything resituated because it's a different setup. I have, like, a whole TV there. I have everything. There. Kermit, you started it today. I'm guessing you mean Persona 3. But, guys, we got a celebration on our hands, okay? Because, you know... It was originally we're going to talk about the things we originally had to talk about, but I just heard about little old Greggy Bovino before we hopped on stream, so we're going to have to talk about that. We're going to have to celebrate. So that's going to be our first story of the night. And get whatever you need to celebrate. I'm going to have me a sweet tea because I get wild. Sweet tea for me. But whatever you imbibe in, you know, please. Okay, let's get this out of here and let's get to business. That's enough of the good time feels. Because we're gonna have some real good time feels here. Let me crack this. Bam. Fire. Demoted. But fired just feels so much more cathartic. Let me twist my knobs here, folks. I realized I didn't do an adequate knob tweaking up top. And you know we tweak knobs first and foremost before we start going 5 most. Am I right? I don't know what that means. Forgive me for not already tweaking my knobs. Oh, yeah, get that Appy Juice, Lizard. Guys, if you're sipping on Appy Juice, sip what you need to sip, please, to have a great time. Okay? Sip that Appy Juice. Oh, the knob twist messed with the headphones. I'm sorry, gang. Yeah, my knob twists. I like to do a knob twist, at the top. Lily, you know what? What a validating thing to say. Lily just said, to be fair, it feels like America's on fire daily. A hot dog. That's what it feels like. I mean... I thought we knew what fire was like before, but it's roasting our buns. So a little moment of catharsis of watching little old Bovino there. It's gonna be nice. So without further ado, let me pull that up. Everybody. Bada bing, bada boom. What helps quench the fire? Oh, hot cocoa. Hot cocoa helps to quench the fire. My little 2-year-old's been jamming on hot cocoa so much lately because it's just been so snowy and perfect for that shit. Guys, drop how many inches you are in the chat, okay? However many inches you are, and by that I mean like whatever you got in snow, but drop how big you are in the chat. We got 11 inches, I think. My socks got wet. That's how I know that was what it was. Making it with milk if possible. Yeah, I am. I make it with the milk. Right now she's into the unicorn marshmallows. So the rainbow marshmallows. They're really cute. But you know, that's how that goes. Oh, about 6 to 8, Kermit. Average. Maybe on the big side of average, but average. Not bad. Not bad. Satisfying. Filling, but not too much. Oh, Ajax 1 inch and then it immediately turned to ice. That's the worst. That's violent. Well, nothing wrong with 7 inches. Anyone would be happy with 7 inches. Anyone would be absolutely happy with 7 inches. And if they want anything more, they're selfish. That's on them. Stupid. You ever make yourself laugh? I don't. I never do, and I never would. Anyway, all that being said, let me just get this sized up, get that OCD relatively nice. I don't have that much OCD, so it's really going to fuck around. No Pegasus or Earth Pony marshmallows? Kermit, you know what? She has this thing called a Tony box, and it's like, it's all audio. And she has a My Little Pony one, so I know about the Earth Ponies, and I know about the Pegasi, and, you know, I'm technically almost a brony. I feel like a brony with the amount of pony knowledge that I have in my brain. That's just the way it goes for me. I don't know what Whoopi Goldberg's doing on the screen right now. But anyway, let's talk about Greggy Bobo. Bobo. You know, if you don't know of Greg Bovino, like if you've just been keeping your head away from everything, he's the head of the ICE. You know, he's running that shit basically. So now that we've had 2 shootings, 2 unjustified murders out in Minneapolis, you know, and this is the thing. Like before we even get into this. The thing with fascism. Oh, Kermit, your daughter made you a brony at just a few years late of the trend. See, valid with the child, you know? Valid with the child. Like, if it hits you, there's this one song on the thing she has that's like angry. It's called Angry Mob, and it's very clearly like a parody of Smells Like Teen Spirit a little bit. But it's also a song about angry mobs. So good. Lily, that's fine that you misread his name is Bovine because he is a cow. I think that's more of a UK burn right there, right? That's a little bit of a UK slam. No? So, okay. Greg Bovino. Before I'll do my fascism spiel in a minute. Let me set this thing up here. So, Greg Bovino is set to leave Minneapolis and could retire in the wake of Alex Preddy killing, a report says. The DHS assessed. I can't say that word tonight. It's just looking like asses to me. Assistant. Oh, yeah, writer. That's right. All night celebrations. The end, guys, the story I have for the end to cleanse your palate before we go is so good. Okay? You know I like to tickle on those gotcha, those weird Goonin gotcha moments. We've got a good one. So DHS Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin denied the claims that Bovino had been relieved of his duties as Border Patrol Commander-at-Large, which was first reported by The Atlantic. So we've got conflicting messages here, but if you've been paying any attention to what Trump's been saying and the moves that he's been making lately, Noam's been thrown under the bus, and she's out now. They're bringing Tom Homan back in, which is not like a good thing, but, you know, the optics are now getting a little out of control for Trump. And now the thing about Trump is he always wants to be a likable guy no matter what, right? Like, there is a little bit of knowledge, I think, that he knows his legacy after all of this is going to be forever tarnished. And no, like, as much as he's trying to force the narrative that he's awesome and he's put up plaques in the White House and stuff, it's just not sustainable. And that's the whole thing. Like, this whole thing is not sustainable. Oh, Lily, you've played some for Gacha games? Yes, excellent. You're gonna love this story at the end. Anyway, Homan is the name a lizard man would choose. Kermit, I 100% agree with you, and of course I trust a reptilian-based named person to know that. So I'm not a fool. I absolutely trust you in that regard. So let's talk about Bobo. Let's honk on Bobo for a minute, okay? So Border Patrol Commander at Large. Oh yeah, Kermit, he did. Yeah, I saw he removed slavery memorial stuff just recently. You know, the thing is too, whoever like comes in next and just like shits on everything he did and goes back and fixes it and like re-acknowledges it, there's gonna be easy slam dunks after this. There's easy slam dunks for people after this. So like, honestly, I do think it will behoove politicians coming up to like actively go against what he's just done. But we'll see what happens, because, you know, Democrats just sit around, kind of do nothing. That's always their fucking MO. And I mean, not even do nothing. Actually, you know what? Not even do nothing. Because, like, the Democrats are, in a lot of ways, responsible for all this stuff, right? They've had their foot on the gas in the same direction. They were just always doing, you know, a lighter version. This is just it at the logical conclusion. And people don't like that. Who the fuck wants that? But this is the logical conclusion that things have always been heading towards. Praying for the next president to be a tall, buff, melanated woman. I mean, yeah, that would be great. We definitely could use some new fucking perspective. I mean, you know, I'm all for the next president to just be somebody who's not fucking connected to the inner workings of billionaires. And, you know, because it's not just the government, right? Like, yes, these people with political connections are always a problem, but like Trump didn't necessarily have the political connections that people regularly have when they come in, and that's why he was seen as an outsider. But he's always had the connections to these rich people. He's always been well connected. He's always been connected with the pedophiles who are connected with the politicians. So, you know, we need an outsider who's not like I got distracted by the Jar Jar thing. You said, I'm closer to Jar Jar, no short woman, why buff? Why buff? Kermit, what do you mean, why buff? Intimidation factor alone. Easy. Easy. You want your... It would be nice to have a buff Prez. I don't think we've had one. It'd be a nice flavor of Prez to have. You know? You kind of maybe get the alphas on board if you go buff. So I see why. So anyway, Border Patrol Commander at Large Gregory Bovino has been removed from his role in Minneapolis and will return to his old job in California, according to reports. Man, oh man, he's gonna get fucking hazed when he goes back, and rightfully so, man. How do you... See, here's the thing. You can Nazi around for a while, but like, what happens when it all falls down? Because it does fall down. This stuff is unsustainable. Bovino, who has been heavily involved in crackdowns on immigration across the country, will return to El Centro and could even, quote, retire soon. A DHS official and two other sources told The Atlantic. Retire right now. Don't retire soon. Retire this second. Retire from everything. Stop engaging in society. Stay at home and stare at the wall. Fucking retire. However, in an online statement, DHS Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin strongly denied the claims. Quote, Chief Gregory Bovino has not been relieved of his duties, she wrote on X in response to the reports, adding that Bovino, quote, is a key part of the president's team and a great American. President Donald Trump said on Monday that he had asked Border Czar Tom Homan to go to Minneapolis and oversee the chaotic immigration enforcement campaign. Okay? So, Ajax, yes. Ajax said, I've seen some videos of people trolling him when spotted in person, like at stores. Yes. Have you seen the videos of, there was a woman who saw him outside of like a gas station store, and was like, I don't normally care about people's height, but like I have to show you that this man is like a head smaller than me. And he like jumps in the back. It's great. He's a fucking punk. He's a fucking punk. Lily, no, he's the one person. So Lily said, you thought he would have the common sense to wear a mask to avoid being seen. He's the one person not wearing a mask. He loves this. He's like a little Napoleon complex fucker who's getting off on having all the big boys around him so that he can throw like tear gas grenades into cars with kids in them and shit. Like, he's loving this stuff. He's basically a little Nazi junior. So yeah, anyway. However, it was denied in an online statement. President Donald Trump said on Monday that he had asked Border Tom Homan to go. Yep, so Homan's going in to clean up the mess. Not that Homan's going to do anything. He's a big fucking thumb. So, like, what the fuck is he going to do? He's just another, like, fucking fascist thumb. So, it's not going to change. I mean, if anything, the violence being enacted on people, that might change. Well, I don't even know. You can't control these ICE guys. You can't. They're untrained. They don't know what they're doing. And they're hungry for this kind of violence. Like, if there's like 5 of them that shot that guy 10 times. Absolutely, like, unacceptable. It comes following the recent chaotic events in Minneapolis in which 2 protesters have been shot dead by federal agents in less than 3 weeks. Renee Cole Good was murdered by an ICE agent. I'm adding that. I'm going to do a little liberal interpretation there, right? Take it as I see it. Renee Nicole Good was murdered by an ICE agent on January 7th, and ICU nurse Alex Preddy was murdered on Saturday. And also, Bovino said we're never going to find out the name of Alex Preddy, because that would be, or of Alex Preddy's killer, because that would be doxing. Unacceptable. Like, these are agents. You should know their names. That should not be information that should be kept from the American people. That's insane. Bovino was set to leave Minneapolis as soon as Tuesday, CNN reported. However, news of his role change had not been specified. Meanwhile, CNN also reported that Bovino had also had his access to his social media accounts cut off, effective immediately. Yo, they took the social media accounts away from him. He's done. He's done. They're going to try to clean up their propaganda. They can't terrorize us. So they're going to try to change things up a little bit. And I mean, Trump's got to know that, the writing's on the wall. Midterms are coming up. Impeachment city, baby. We're going to see a lot of cases of impeachment. Kermit, famously, the SS leaders rarely measured up to the Aryan stature. Oh, 100%. 100%. Lizard, what happened to border crossings being the problem, MAGA? I don't see the border to Mexico and freaking Minneapolis. That's the other, dude, I think about that fucking every goddamn day. Like, crazy to see, like, Border Patrol agents in the Minneapolis, in fucking Newark, up here in New Jersey, they're everywhere. Wherever else in the Midwest and shit they are. They're going specifically for the blue cities and stuff, the blue states. They took his tweets, Kermit. Yes, they did. Imagine getting your Lizard said, imagine getting your Twitter taken away because you didn't propaganda good enough for Daddy Orange. I know. It's crazy. And it's the other thing that's crazy too is that these there's so many conservatives who are hungry, eating this shit up, lapping it up, right? So to even fail them is crazy. Lily says, PR team is in corporate hell trying to clean this up. I mean, PR team, I don't even know who could possibly work on the PR team for the Trump. That's not a job you can do. That's like being a sail on a motorboat, right? You're not needed there. PR team, no such thing. Oh, Kermit, You've heard of sightings in your red state, blue city. Yeah, yeah, they're going to go for the cities. They're going for specifically political opponents. I mean, especially. That's why they went so heavy on Tim Walz, because Trump knew specifically there was hunger from conservatives to, you know, see Tim Walz go down. Lizard says, pretty sure they replaced their PR team with Grok AI. Yo, they absolutely did. That's why they're fucking this shit up so much too, because they literally rely on AI for everything. So funny. Bovino was said to leave Minneapolis as soon as Tuesday, so let's see. He might be out of there by tomorrow. But yeah, they took his tweets. They took Bovino's tweets. Insane. Donald Trump didn't even get his tweets taken away. Not that I guess you couldn't really take his tweets away, but like, holy shit. Bovino previously blamed Democrats and journalists for the escalating situation in Minneapolis and dodged questions on whether his agency bore responsibility for the tragedies. Look at this little fucking punk. And let me tell you, you know, there's some people in this world who it's appropriate to body shame because, you know, they are little Nazis. This man has the most disgusting mouth area I've ever seen. Lips constantly chapped. Teeth constantly jacked. Anybody else? Not a problem. And your visage delights me. Gregory Bovino? No. Busted. Absolutely busted. Trash. Yeah, Kermit, typical of Nazis to wait until winter to invade their northern enemies. True. The problem is Nazis can't read, so they never look to the history books. It literally doesn't matter for them. Footage captured from multiple angles start that again. Footage captured from multiple angles showed how 37-year-old Preddy was sprayed in the face with mace and thrown to the ground by officers before being beaten and ultimately shot multiple times. Self-defense. Yeah, Kermit, rotting lips, absolutely. His vibe is absolutely rotted out. The haircut adds to it. Confused Lizard says lip balm is for girls, so is brushing your teeth, wiping, sunscreen, basic literacy. Yo, our friend Aunt Tifa filled me in. Aunt Tifa's a drag queen from Ohio, or Idaho. Sorry, I don't know why I said Ohio. Idaho. And they were telling me that there is a sect of men, straight men, who do not wipe their butt because it's gay. I'll be doing research into that. I'll get my hands dirty on that one so you all don't have to. I will find out what's going on with that. So when politicians, community leaders, and some journalists engage in the heated rhetoric we keep talking about, when they make the choice to vilify law enforcement, calling law enforcement names like Gestapo or using the term kidnapping, that is a choice that has been made. Their actions and consequences that come from those choices, Bovino said Sunday. That's what Bovino. Yes, Kermit. Antifa is a homie of ours in the chat. Amazing name, right? Even more amazing about Antifa is they last year, in response to Mark Fitzpatrick's Hetero Awesome Fest, they did a Hetero Awesome drag show in response to it, and obviously sold more tickets than Mark Fitzpatrick did. And they will be doing a follow-up show this year, obviously. As I'm sure Mark will be doing a follow-up as well. And, we're talking with the Antifa as well, so we will cover it when that happens. But yeah, there is a drag show alternative to Mark Fitzpatrick's Hetero Awesome Fest. Lily, meanwhile, Mamdani's going, I'm putting bidets into this house. Yeah, exactly. And that's what these conservatives are afraid of. They're like, I don't want to see a brown man shooting water into my poo-poo hole. That's literally the worst thing that could happen to this country. Fucking conservative ghouls need to learn how to clean their buttholes properly. That's all I'm saying, okay? That's all I'm saying. And I feel like it's not that, it's not that. Like, look at him. This is a dirty butthole motherfucker. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, so Bovino's saying basically, oh, Kermit, can Daniel play there too? I'm sure he wouldn't mind. I'm sure he wouldn't mind. And they already follow each other on Insta and stuff. I'm sure they're aware of each other and everything, and the whole event. So maybe who knows what they're gonna do. But I think they're doing the sequel's gonna be called Too Hetero, Too Awesome, I believe, which is amazing. So anyway, Bovino's saying here, basically, calling law enforcement names like Gestapo will lead to you being shot multiple times, 10 times. You're not allowed to say mean things to the federal enforcement anymore, which is obviously antithetical to our freedoms. But yeah, I don't really care about that. They're just filling us full of fucking holes. Jerry, send Elon Musk to Mars forever. Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. Kermit, wash your asshole was a meme from a few years ago. I mean, look, there's a reason Del the Funky Homo Sapiens got a whole goddamn song about washing your ass, brushing your teeth, and washing your hair. You know? Yeah, Lily, the freedom of speech. They're basically like, you have freedom of speech, but we also have freedom to plug you full of holes. What's the big deal? Quote, when someone chooses to listen to a politician, a so-called journalist, or a community leader that spouts that type of vilification towards law enforcement or anything else, there are consequences and actions there. Also, I think we saw that Saturday, he added, which is just fucking ghoulish. Like, he's like, we saw that on Saturday. They love that whole, like, fuck around and find out. I guess you fuck around and find out. I guess you're going to fuck around and find out. But here's the thing about fascism and fuck around and find out. It's not sustainable, because the logical conclusion of fascism is everybody under the subjugation of a very, 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 very small amount of people. And that small amount of people, like, look, they're not going to end up getting along, right? It's people who are too power hungry and too greedy. There's no human interaction between them, no human empathy. So it's all just a bunch of fucking backstabbers and crooks. So basically, you have this situation, like, this is why, you know, as terrible as these things look, as terrible, as bleak as things have become in these days in America, this fascism is unsustainable. Because even the people who are associating with it and are still making excuses for it, there will come a line that gets crossed that they lose their appetite for, because it will affect them, right? Greg Bovino, right? Who knows, like, I'm sure, like, he's not going to stop being a little Nazi prick moving on, but, you know, he's a powerful motherfucker with all these ICE dudes until he's not, until he's fucked up and the person in charge says, I'm not going to have you around anymore. Now you're on the chopping block. Same with Noam. None of this is sustainable. None of these people are going to have careers moving forward. You know, I mean, they'll have careers with the arms of the other failed conservatives. Failed conservatives will always have a career. They'll lie for money. But yeah, he doesn't have to make it there for the same. Yeah, these people surrounded libraries with ARs for a book being read. Crazy. Absolutely insane. They're the most tender, emotionally unstable people that are on this planet, and they will constantly try to use that against people on the left. Like, you know, people go around, these neo-Nazis have been going around and chanting just like Lexapro or whatever at these leftists, and honestly, which is kind of hilarious, because it's like, oh, you've addressed things in your life and you have a healthy relationship with your mentality, and now you're doing things to take care of it. Haha, idiot. Like, you know, but it's not the flex they think it is. They're like, I'm mentally unstable. like I should be, you know? So anyway, long story short, none of this stuff is gonna oh yeah, TikTok. So Lily just mentioned this is important for everybody to know. TikTok changed their thing again. Something about it knows your location, sexual orientation, and etc. So TikTok did get bought out by TikTok got bought out by an American billionaire. I don't remember exactly who. After this, let's look into that story, because that's pretty important. TikTok's now got access to and can pull all of your information, can use your content however they see fit. The worst part is the person who owns it is basically a huge Zionist and is banning any political content that is anti-Zionist, right? Or talks against Israel. So it will certainly be, we'll look into it, but I think there's a lot of opportunity for your information to be misappropriated, even worse than there maybe was before, by people who very clearly want to misappropriate power without even any little like cover up, no wink or nod, nothing. So this is Greggy Bovino here with his whole crew. This is little Greggy, and he has the worst voice too. Make no mistake. Yeah, Confused Lizard. It's funny that they clown on us for being mentally unstable when, like, they literally, I don't know if you've seen those videos of those neo-Nazi dudes in Minneapolis, but they look like the most insufferable dudes you've ever met. You would not want to hang out with them at a party at all. And that is how you measure a person. Honestly, I look at a person and I go, would I want to hang out with you at a party? Because you don't have to be a perfect person for me to want to hang out with you at a party. I don't expect you to be a perfect person. But, those guys, I wouldn't want to, I wouldn't want to have a chat with them. I don't want to know who they main and smash, Yeah, the new TikTok will absolutely, yes, it will be pro-ICE, So basically, I'm sure there's going to be mass censorship. Obviously, that will happen, and I believe it has happened. I think a news network put out a TikTok that got, like, 0 views, and people noticed that. And that just doesn't make sense. So, we'll have to check that out. Yeah, the vibes are off when ICE is around 100%. Kermit catching Pokemon right now? Peak Life? I love that. Which Pokemon you playing and what Pokemon you catching? Let me know. Drop that in the chat. So when asked if he or the Department of Homeland Security intended to take any responsibility for the fatal shootings, Bovino dodged the question, describing Preddy and Good as suspects who, quote, assault, delay, obstruct, or threaten a law enforcement officer's life. And that's almost incredibly embarrassing to admit, too, because, the woman who smiled at you and went, I'm not mad, dude. You're like, threat! Immediate threat! Scares me. Everything scares me. Kindness scares me. Smiles scare me. I've not had hugs. So the concept of it frightens me to the point where I must murder. The reported removal of Bovino and some of his agents from the city appeared to mark a shift in tone from the Trump administration in its handling of the situation in Minnesota, which has seen an explosion in tension between protesters and law enforcement following the 2 fatal shootings. On Monday, the president spoke with Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey and Minnesota Governor Tim Walz in separate and seemingly positive conversations. I don't even know what that... I would like a little more detail than that. In a Monday afternoon statement, Frey said Trump agreed the present situation can't continue in the city, adding, some federal agents will begin leaving the area tomorrow, and I will continue pushing for the rest involved in this operation to go. Waltz said that during their conversation, the president agreed to, quote, look into reducing the number of federal agents in Minnesota. I mean, what does that even fucking mean? I'll look into the number. I'll look into reducing it. Meanwhile, Trump described both his conversations with the Minnesota leaders as very good. The president also announced that he would be sending his border czar, Tom Homan, to oversee federal operations in Minnesota from now on, describing him as tough but fair. Homan will report directly to Trump, the president confirmed. So basically, this is Trump textbook 101, right? Make a big mess, clean it up, and then you go, I fixed it. I'm the fixer. I'm the peace president. I started 3 international conflicts, and I ended them all. Because I submitted to whatever fucking resistance. But, fucking A, man. It's your mother. What's up, dude? Oh, shoot. It's your mother. It's good to see you. It's your mother. Welcome to the stream. So we just talked about not Tom Homan, Greg Bovino. He's getting fired, basically. It's giving Lady Gaga's investigation into the January... Wait, Lily, did Lady Gaga investigate January 6th? No fucking way. Holy shit. Tell me that's true. My favorite Prague poster experimental metal band? It's your mother? Ooh, what a good goddamn question. Favorite prog metal band is probably Sixth. Incredible, incredible fucking British prog metal band. The vocalist also does the voices, one of the two vocalists, but he also does the voices of Your Mind in Disco Elysium. So that's always cool. That's who I would pick right off the top of my head. Oh, one of the chatters the other day showed me in the Discord, Imperial Triumphant. They're very cool too. I've been digging them. They're like a black metal jazz kind of thing. That's pretty cool. Man, you can get me with the metal there. You can get me distracted there with the metal. Catching Pokemon. Oh, wait, YouTube won't let you say what Pokemon you're catching. Oh, Kermit, Rush is the best band in the galaxy. You know I love Rush. You know I love Rush. Of Salesman! Love me some Rush. And Rush's new drummer, Anika Niles, so good. So good. Yes, that's how you spell it out. That's how you spell it out, Jamila. Sikth. They're so good. They did a couple albums back in like the mid 2000s. And I think were very influential on bands like Protest the Hero. Periphery too. They were influential on that band. And the singer of Periphery is in one of their songs, but they don't sound like Periphery at all. They are, the singers do like these weird voices, almost like Mike Patton-ish in a way, which also one of the best experimental metal albums is Mike Patton and Dillinger Escape Plan's EP, Irony is a Dead Scene. That's the shit right there. Moonhooch Jazz Experimental. No, it's like, they're like, Kokeshi? I don't know Kokeshi. I have to look them up. I'll have to look into Kokeshi. Oh, Kermit, yes. She's a drum professor. Anika Niles is amazing. I was into Anika Niles before she was even announced, because she's just one of those drummers who's like, again, I'm like a drummer. I'm actually a drummer. I'm not actually a guitar player, but she's one of those drummers like Benny Greb kind of, who's just putting out all this great solo drum stuff. Thomas Pridgeon, good stuff. Really great stuff. Wow. Lifted my soul with a little metal conversation. Love that. So guys, that's the Bovino situation there. So piss off Bovino. That's great. We're very excited to see that he's at least going to be out of Minnesota, possibly by tomorrow, and following in the vein of losers, just absolute losers who are on a losing streak. A Christy Gnome, the dog shooter herself, which I discovered last week, I think it was, that there's some people who are not aware. That is a key Christy Gnome piece of lore. Absolute Christy Gnome essential fact. That's like being like Mario wears a red hat, Mario wears red with an M. If it ain't doing that, it ain't Mario. If she ain't shooting the dog, it ain't Christy Gnome. Okay? But she took that that sort of violence towards the innocent to the next level, as being the ICE representative and apologist and prime propagandeer. Now, however, it's getting a little too messy out there, Christy. We gotta get you out of there. We gotta get you back over here. It's Your Mother. They're a mix of post-metal, black gaze, and hardcore. Ooh. Do metal spoken word death. So, you see, I love... I'm gonna have to check them out, because I love Japanese metal, too. Big Maximum the Hormone fan. I like stuff outside of Japanese metal, too. Atarashigako, big fan. I love Sheena Ringo. I know that's like kind of the basic. Tricot, so good. Yeah, Maximum is so good. I have to look up Kokeshi. That I'm definitely going to be looking into. Lily, every time she appears on stream, a dog hides. Yeah, my dog is not acknowledging her right now. Oh yeah, Hanabi, you showed me the other week. They were cool. Yeah. Oh, cool. You like Sheena and Tricot? Okay, it's your mother. I like your taste over there. Yo, we could definitely at the end. Let's definitely pop a couple songs on, do a couple reactions there. I would definitely be down for that. I've done a couple before, but we haven't done that too much. But I would love to do that. So let's definitely check out some Kokeshi. Let me know towards the end. Drop a Kokeshi song recommendation, and I will definitely react to it. I want to check that out. So anyway, Trump removes Kristi Noem from Minneapolis ICE response. Right, so she's off the ICE response now. Taps longtime rival to lead effort after deadly shooting scandal. Amid deadly federal agent shootings and mounting legal challenges, Trump elevates rival Homan to consolidate command and quell crisis in Minneapolis. Do I like Sonic? Like Sonic the Hedgehog? Because I love Sonic the Hedgehog. Cassiopeia, the Japanese jazz fusion band? That sounds sick too. There's some great like Soil and Pimp Sessions, great Japanese jazz kind of fusion band. There's some good stuff. There's some great stuff out there. So anyway, Noam essentially has not done a good job in the propaganda department here. Okay? Nobody's buying it anymore, and I think they're getting a little tired of her shtick. All right? So Donald Trump has abruptly removed Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem from operational control of the federal immigration enforcement response in Minneapolis and dispatched his long-standing rival, Tom Homan, to take command amid escalating violence and political turmoil over fatal shootings by Immigration and Customs Enforcement and Border Patrol officers. So, yeah, I mean, Tom Homan is also just like a huge piece of shit. I don't know what he's going to do different. It's not like when I would see Tom Homan on TV, I was like, this is better than Kristi Noem. Like, nah, he's honest. He's a big dumb thumb. They both have their unique brand of stupidity. President Trump's decision this morning reflects a dramatic shift in the White House handling what has become one of the most controversial episodes of his second presidency, as public outrage and legal pushback grow after multiple federal agents shot civilians in the city's streets. Federal courts have been drawn into fierce disputes over evidence preservation and constitutional authority. Local leaders, state officials, and activists are demanding answers about the role of ICE in the shootings as Minneapolis teeters on the brink of broader civil confrontation. This realignment of federal leadership underscores deep fractures within Trump's immigration enforcement strategy, exposing political fault lines and legal jeopardy that could have lasting implications for national policy. Trump's appointment of Homan, a veteran immigrationer, hardliner, and former acting ICE director, supersedes Noem's de facto operational leadership of the so-called Operation Metro Surge in Minneapolis, a sweeping federal immigration enforcement effort that has seen thousands of agents deployed across Minnesota. The pivot comes after the controversial fatal shooting of Alex Preddy, a 37-year-old U.S. citizen, by federal agents, which ignited protests and legal battles, questioning the legitimacy and conduct of federal law enforcement in a civil urban setting. Ajax Thumb McMumbles is a great name for Homan. I love that. His voice, he has the worst voice. His voice is terrible and I hate it. He sounds so dumb. Dumb Thumb McMumbles. 100%. Like, love it. It's Your Mother, Melt Banana. Yes. Yeah, there's a couple of these I don't know. Like, I'll have to check out some of these. But Hanabi, yes. Writer just introduced me to them the other day. Tricot. I gotta check out Kokeshi. Duran Gray, of course. Yeah, Midori. Hayes, I don't know. Ano, Haru Nimari, I need to look up. Merging Moon, Belt Punch. Those I need to look up. Metro Surge sounds like a train card. Lily, I think about that all the time. It's like the Metro card. It does. Metro Surge sounds like a pricing thing. You're right, Kermit. RFK Jr. has the worst voice. You're absolutely right. I think I shut it out of my mind. Gnome, already under fire from both sides of the aisle, faced intensifying calls for her removal from office, while Homan's elevation signals Trump's desire to tighten internal discipline and refocus the federal response. The episode has rapidly transcended local debate, becoming a flashpoint in national disputes over immigration, federalism, and civil liberties. So the other thing is, these ICE agents are a lot of these dismissed Jan 6ers, and a lot of these other dismissed Jan 6ers are running for office coming up, local office and things like that. I'm doing a deeper dive into some of that stuff coming up in a video essay, but we need to keep our eyes on this stuff because it's not going to be done when Trump leaves the office. There's an infrastructure beneath all of this that's quite strong and has lots of potential applicants. Now, I think right now, obviously, Trump has this thing that is like his charisma or whatever it is that makes people like him is very different than what any of these other people have. Like, I don't think you just put J.D. Vance in there and have the same sort of sycophantic relationship that people have with Trump, certainly there will still be people on the train, but I think you'd lose a lot of people too. And I mean, Trump's already losing people, but there's more in the wings waiting to pounce when he falls. Gnome, already under fire from both sides of the aisles, face intensifying calls for removal from office. So here's an overview of Trump's strategic shift moving forward. Federal intervention in Minneapolis, St. Paul, framed as a massive immigrant crackdown under Operation Metro Surge, has evolved into a major political and legal crisis for the Trump administration. Lizard, RFK Jr. sounds like an SNL parody of himself. That's incredible. Lily, is it true California is joining the World Health Organization by itself? I don't know. I'll look that up. It certainly may have been said. I don't know. That'd be fascinating. Oh, cool. Merging Moon sounds sick. I definitely have to check them out. There was this other band. What were they called? Maybe they're Chinese. Devin Townsend just did a song with them. Very cool. The lack of clear and consistent doctrine will benefit us massively when he is gone. Yeah. There's tons of holes in all of this stuff. Like, again, here's what gives me hope is, like Lizard just said, the lack of consistent doctrine will benefit us massively when he's gone. And I think the appetite for the fascism, like, people got a taste of it, didn't like it. It went too far, because obviously it always goes too far, regardless of, liberal identity politics, yada, yada, yada. Like, if that is the worst thing in the world to you, you have absolutely lost the plot of even just your own sense of self-preservation, because fascism will come for you. Like, I don't care if you're white, it comes for all of us. You will eventually be not the right kind of person once it gets whittled down far enough, or someone you care about, if you have anybody that you care about in your life. So the hope that I have, that I gain hope from, is that there's already, the appetite is gone to just follow along with this. But like, beneath that is the opportunism from other people who are ghoulish in their own right. Ted Cruz, obviously, as he's broken away from Trump in the past, is realigning himself more for a potential run at office. I think Tucker Carlson wants to run for office, something like that. Now, again, I don't think any of these people have the same sycophantic base or can even bring that, because, like, I mean, you got Tucker Carlson will laugh, and a whole room of people will clear out because it's just creepy as shit. But make no mistake, there's people waiting in the wings. So the hope I have is that after things, there's a natural rebound. But the fear I have is that, from that rebound, wins become a lot easier in comparison to Trump, right? Great opportunity for imperialist light sort of Democratic nominees to come in and clean sweep things. Potentially worse than that, a Tucker Carlson, another media type, somebody like that would be awful. If they were just like, oh, well, Trump was not in the system. Trump was outside of the system, but that didn't work out. But we need somebody outside of the system, like the guy who got fired from Fox or whatever, Tucker ended up doing. So, Trump's operation here is changing. So on the 24th of January, U.S. immigration agents shot and killed Alex Preddy in South Minneapolis during a confrontation that followed protests against federal enforcement activity. And video verified by Reuters shows Preddy holding a mobile phone, not a weapon, when Border Patrol agents pepper sprayed and pinned him before an agent fired multiple shots. So that's, make no mistake, the propaganda you'll hear coming out of the U.S. and from the administration officials is obviously that this guy had a gun. He pulled a gun. Obviously, the irony in that is that the Second Amendment kind of shit is like what the fucking Republicans in our country have been all about, right? American horniness for guns, famous, known around the world. So to then go, this man was killed because he was carrying a gun is insane. And I'm not the first person to mention it, but Kyle Rittenhouse was carrying a pretty big gun at a protest. Killed some people, right? I mean, he didn't get fucking killed. It appears that if you're a political opponent to the administration, you are in a much more likely scenario to get yourself killed. But that's just what it looks like from what we can see. So the killing of Preddy followed the 7th January fatal shooting of... Oh, the killing of Preddy followed the 7th of January fatal shooting of Renee Good, also by an ICE agent. DHS and Nome labeled Good's actions as an attempted vehicular attack or domestic terrorism, which is a lie. An assertion disputed by video evidence and local officials who saw no clear evidence as she posed a threat. These contrasting narratives have intensified scrutiny over federal narrative control and oversight of ICE, undermining Nome's credibility among some lawmakers and civil liberties advocates. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Back in the days when things were easy. The aerobic gymnastics they're redoing in their head to justify this is astounding. Yeah, I mean, and honestly, and this is what the whole, these things get brought to their logical conclusions kind of thing is, right? You have to either willingly deny all the truths you see to go along with the party narrative, or you're genuinely insane. And you just are Gary Buseying it up or something, I don't know what the fuck. Yeah, Kermit, we see which side the violence comes from. 100%. It's been well documented. Oh, it's your mother. Yes, you dropped me so much good. Wait, Hayes did a song based on the SpongeBob theme melody? That's awesome. You guys remember that time Pantera was in that SpongeBob episode? That's crazy shit. Trump's decision to replace Nome's operational leadership with Homan, who reports directly to the president, is widely understood as both a tactical effort to stabilize the federal response and a political rebuke to Nome at a time when her standing is under strain. Homan's deep roots in the immigration enforcement and close alignment with Trump's hardline positions makes him the administration's choice to manage ICE operations on the ground, according to Trump's statements on social media. I can't read his words, honestly. It's just, I hate the way he writes. And I know it's not him writing, it's his handler, who he's, who he's with now. Tom Homan, hardened enforcer amid escalating backlash. Tom Homan's elevation is significant given his long history as an immigration hardliner and his earlier tenure as acting director of ICE. And that time he got a $50,000 bribe or something like that. I'm trying to remember what it was. He's a fraudulent motherfucker, though. In prior federal roles, he cultivated a reputation for aggressive enforcement and controversial public remarks about constitutional rights and immigration advocacy, emphasizing strict compliance over collaborative policing. Yeah, that's so like, so strict compliance over collaborative policing is why I'm like, well, what's Tom Homan being there gonna do? Maybe he's just more like, I don't know. I don't know what he's going to do. In recent television, maybe Trump just feels like he needs a head on the chopping block. So it's like, you got to put Noam up there. You just got to do something. In recent televised and recorded interviews, Homan has defended ICE's conduct in Minneapolis, asserting agents acted with justified force and urging critics to reduce rhetoric around federal enforcement, which he said could inflame tensions further. In one interview clip, Homan maintained that critics unfairly portrayed ICE actions without understanding the risks facing federal law enforcement officers, stressing that agents fear for their lives in hostile environments. And I mean, this is just like, are you guys so scared? Like, I'm sorry, you're supposed to be like the hard dudes, aren't you? Holy shit. Yes, Lily, you came across a picture of his Twitter handler being a young blonde lady that people say looked like his daughter. Yes. So there's an interesting story behind that woman. We can cover that. Maybe if you guys want to cover that after this, we can cover it. It's a young woman who I believe had cancer or something like that and got better and is like an absolute like sycophantic follower of Trump. We can look into it. I remember hearing about her story. There's rumors that they might be, having some sort of something, but I don't think Trump can get it up. I mean, come on. He's shitting his pants out there. he's fucking shitting his pants, and he's got a demented mind. He can't do that anymore. I mean, he might be groping her, but that might be it. If I inject enough filler, they will. Lizard says, if I inject enough filler, they will let me run the Trump presidential roleplay account for him. 100%. For his critics, Homan's it's your mother. Trump has access to that experimental Viagra. 100%. He gets the gas station stuff that's behind the counter. Not the stuff that you can grab. He gets the horniest goat weed shit from like behind the counter. You can't even reach that shit. He's got a stash of that. It's just burlesque at this point. Yeah, pretty much. For his critics, Homan's record raises concerns about accountability. Local leaders, including Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey and Minnesota Governor Walz, have vocally opposed the operation, with Walz announcing preparations to deploy the Minnesota National Guard and urging federal agents to stand down. National political figures from Democratic lawmakers calling for Noam's impeachment to business and civil rights leaders joining protests reflect how deeply the Minneapolis crisis has resonated beyond state borders. Homan's presence is also expected to shape how evidence and investigations are handled. A federal judge recently granted a temporary restraining order barring the Department of Homeland Security from altering or destroying evidence tied to the Preddy shooting, underscoring legal tensions between federal authorities and state entities seeking transparency and accountability. Human horn. Oh man, Kermit, that's funny. That holy shit, you just put me in a little time warp there. Holy moly. That's crazy. Legal, political, and public consequences. Now, here we go. This is what we want to find out about. Will Kristi Noem be walked down the center of the streets while the bells of shame are rung in her face? Golly, I hope so. The fallout from these developments extends into federal courts and Capitol Hill. Minnesota officials and advocacy groups have initiated lawsuits challenging the federal operations legality, alleging constitutional violations and overreach. Judges are weighing motions to constrain the surge and ensure local investigatory access. And I mean, yeah, they're making the lawyers, upset, okay? 100%. I saw a video of Legal Eagle crying the other day. That you don't make Legal Eagle cry. Come on. Moved by this shit. Expected to shape how evidence and investigation is handled. Suggest they expect more murders. Yep. Yeah, Ajax. They want federal control of all these investigations, right? That's why even Bovino was like, you know, Alex Peretti's killer, he's already out of state. He's out of Minnesota he's out of Minnesota's jurisdiction. They knew immediately to get him out of there, right? And he's back on the beat. He'll kill someone else, I'm sure. Or the you know, it might have been multiple. I think it was multiple officers that shot him. I don't know if there's like one determined that actually killed him. You know. Congressional pressure is escalating as well. A growing number of Senate Democrats are threatening to block Department of Homeland Security funding unless reforms are enacted or oversight hearings occur, a strategy that could trigger a partial government shutdown if negotiations fail. Calls for Noem and Homan to testify before oversight committees add to the mounting legislative scrutiny. And like, look, I'm glad to see Dems are getting ready to block this shit, but like, do not forget that Democrats are also responsible for increasing spending on ICE and things like that, right? Like, it's not like Democrats are doves. Like, they're just as ghoulish. They just do a lighter version of this shit. Yes, so Chris Murphy says as the DHS funding bill moves closer to a vote in the House and likely a vote in the Senate, where it could be combined with Department of Defense and other budgets, I want to spell out the dangers of a bipartisan vote to keep funding this version of DHS. Yeah, so they're talking about it. They're talking about striking that funding. The decision to replace Noem with Homan may stabilize the immediate command structure of the federal response, which, like, I don't know. But it also deepens questions about accountability, civil liberties, and the proper scope of immigration enforcement in urban America. With federal judges, state leaders, and national lawmakers now deeply engaged, the unfolding Minneapolis crisis could shape immigration policy and enforcement culture across the United States for years to come. I'm sure it will. 2 people were killed. I mean, they killed 2 fucking civilians, U.S. civilians. The appointment of Tom Homan to replace Kristi Noem, and by the way, it's not even just that they've shot these 2 people, because there have been deaths within the detention centers, within the ICE detention centers. Make no mistake, there was a death in the Newark detention center in my state of New Jersey. Okay, so these are not the only victims of ICE. These are just the most visibly violent victims of ICE. Okay, but there are more. Make no mistake. The appointment of Tom Homan to replace Kristi Noem in Minneapolis marks a pivotal moment in the Trump administration's immigration enforcement strategy and intensifying national debate over federal power, policing, and civil rights. So, Kristi Noem is out, Tom Homan is in. Okay? Not like a better thing. It's just a sidestep. It's an adjacent move, right? They're both fucking ghouls. And I have no faith in any of them. I don't even see what the whole point of this sort of operation is. You know, they're like, we're going after these criminals, but they rarely get criminals. And as a matter of fact, I want to show you guys something that happened in my area, around where my parents live. So, and this is a perfect example of how this stuff, like, you know, you may think, well, I want criminals to be removed from the community, right? But when you don't do things the right way, there's always innocent people that get affected by it. So, recently, there was an ICE raid in my parents' town, and they raided a laundromat. There was a high school kid who was abducted by ICE in that raid and brought to a detention center. He was released, right? But he's a high schooler. No criminal anything. And the other thing, well, we'll go over these two cases. The other one really bothers me because it involves a kid being left behind. Another kid. Obviously, we see they don't care about the kids. Eyewitnesses described fear in community after ICE agents raid New Jersey laundromat. Let's see what we got going on here. What age is a high schooler, Lily? Yeah, like 15-ish, something like that. We'll double check his age. They'll let us know.
ICE raid in Morristown over the weekend resulted in the arrest of several people.
So the reason I want to show you guys this too is not just to be like, you know, oh, this happened near my parents or whatever. This is going to, you know, regardless of whether they cool down the temperature in Minnesota or whatever, it's coming to all of the blue states, the blue cities, political opponents, right? This is very actively a silencing of political dissidents. So it's coming to your community if it's not already there. Chances are it's already there, and you might not even know it because you don't, you know, you might not see exactly where they are, what they're doing, but the impact happens. So let's take a look at this.
And you're about to hear from two women who are U.S. citizens who found themselves in the middle of that raid.
That's where we begin with New Jersey reporter Tony Yates live in Morristown. Tony.
Well, you know what, David and Liz, it's like that old saying all over again. It's deja vu all over again, because there are families here in Morristown who are not sending their kids to school. There are parents here in Morristown who are not showing up for work, who are not out running errands. Home has now become a safe sanctuary for these families while ICE agents are in town conducting those raids. The fear here is absolutely real. In fact, those two women that we spoke to who were holed up in that church, they asked us not to reveal their identities because they were afraid.
Look at the street.
So that was, before we even get into it, yeah, that was a really good way of summing it up there, right? Like, the impact that this has on people, whether you think it's justified to go after criminals or not, the way they're doing it right now is obviously something that has spread fear across our communities and is honestly the true form of domestic terrorism that they are accusing other people of. They call people like Alex Preddy a domestic terrorist, right? Which couldn't be anything further from the truth, right? Alex Preddy is the kind of person they basically tell you to be. A gun-owning American, somebody who honors the vets, right? He's a nurse, contributing member of society. If that doesn't earn you, like, the being spared from their murder, then what does? What does? Now, the other thing is, the places aren't getting safer when people are terrified to go outside. Kermit, your daughter's ex-girlfriend is Colombian, and she told us she was scared of deportation a year ago. Yeah, it's look. Here's the thing: you if you know somebody who's dealt with immigration before, you know that it's a serious concern for them. And like I went to school, basically. I went to college at my state's university, William Patterson, right? And it's a very, very diverse kind of school and stuff. And I work in a super diverse city in New Jersey that's basically built by immigrants, right? Will they close down the public schools if there won't be enough students going to school? No, I don't think they would. I don't think you'd see that many. I don't think you see that many kids not going to school. So, that's a good question because Lily, Ryder says, so Ryder's an English teacher, so let's listen to what they have to say here. As an EL paraprofessional a few years back, I can confirm there was likely at least one incident of keeping ICE at bay due to the status of the student. Interesting. Yeah, so like Lily, you know, I don't think they'll close down a public school if there aren't enough students going there, and I don't think there would be a situation where they would even end up with not enough students going there, unless it's something like in Minnesota, where there have been schools where the students have decided to do walkouts and things like that, and teachers have accompanied them on these walkouts while not actively stating that they're endorsing what the students are doing, but rather chaperoning them as an extension of their responsibilities to keep the students safe during school hours, right? So school won't get canceled, but depending on how rife things get in the area, state and municipalities, townships have been coming up with their own systems, right? In New Jersey, I can't remember exactly what the status is, but there's a lot of ways that you don't have to interact with ICE if you don't need to. Writer, the teacher subreddit has been ablaze with teachers reporting students planning walkouts this week in Minneapolis. Yeah, I'm sure. Oh, the teacher subreddits are probably something very interesting to check out right now. I'm sure it's so interesting. Tom. Oh, good to see you, Tom. Welcome. ICE are conducting raids in Arizona as well. Fuck yeah. I mean, it's everywhere, especially if you're blue. Blue city, blue state. Again, the city I work in has an ICE detention center, right? They're headquartering in these places, and it's gone obviously far beyond immigration to becoming an extension of like a secret federal police force that works pretty much under the directive of Trump. Not good. Not good. Writer, I think it's the way it's being worked out. Social studies teachers are joining as a demonstration of the use of persons' First Amendment rights. That's great. Man, the social studies teachers, we need you right now. We need you right now keeping those kids informed. Holy moly. I wonder if there's ice in Hawaii or Alaska. Oh, Lily, that's a good question. You know, interesting. Probably not.
Streets, they're empty. That day, church got canceled. The ones that we got to church, they said stay here because it's unsafe if you go back to Speedwell.
It was a day when ICE agents quietly swept into an area in the heart of the Hispanic community here. Sunday morning, when people's guards are at least relaxed, agents hit a laundromat. These ladies say they spoke to a relative of one of the people who was taken.
And he came Sunday morning to do his laundry. And then his cousin told me he was taken. He was just cleaning his clothes when he was taken. A lot of people were taken.
Including, they say, the father of a 6-year-old girl, the child left alone on the street until adults who saw her stepped in.
My sister said, do you need any help? And then she said, my dad was taken. Her dad was taken by immigration, and they left the little girl by herself. She was stranded. They took the dad and left the little girl. That was horrible for her to see that.
In the middle of the target zone.
That shit haunts me. And that was the part I really hated the most. Just like, you know, I'm a father, so that shit, like, that breaks me. Little girl walking around outside on the street looking for her father. You're not making the world safer. These motherfuckers are monsters. Fucking demons. I say this all the time, but like, I'm not religious. This is the kind of shit that makes me go like, well, maybe I can believe in hell. Maybe I can just believe in hell so I could just imagine the just desserts these motherfuckers could get. Disgusting. I don't care if the motherfucker's a criminal, even. I don't even give a shit. Fuck that. I don't even fucking care. Because you know what? If you want to get a criminal, like, first of all, what's the crime? Tell me what the crime is. I'm sure it's not even that fucking bad. But if it is something bad, fine. You got to get the criminal. You got to do it right. What, you're gonna traumatize that kid for life? You're gonna ruin their life because he's shit? That's fucked. So dumb.
Zone sits St. Margaret Catholic Church, where that Sunday, the priests, during a packed mass, were warned of the raid happening at that moment and did what they could to protect those in their congregation.
The majority of our parishioners has papers. We have followed every legal steps. We have come to this country in the legal way, but we are afraid. We are afraid to be picked up, taken away, and being mistreated. And that's what is going on in our minds, and this is not only in our minds, but this is what is going on in this community.
Judy Ashworth has lived in Morristown for decades.
This whole
Yeah, I mean, the other
What is
thing
going-
too, like, you know, ICE are worse criminals than most non-documented criminals. Yeah, I mean, look, there's the other thing is the thing that's making me so mad, like, you know, and just disgusts me beyond belief is the people who are making this like, you know, I don't even care. You know, they're immigrants. I want them out. This is America. Like, you know nothing of America. You don't know anything about what makes America America. You don't go outside. Like, you've not interacted with your community if you are against immigrants, like, just on the fact that they're immigrants. And no, like, population is ever a monolith. That's the dumbest shit you could ever fucking say. So you can't just like, just to go after like immigrants because they're immigrants and you think immigrants are criminals is beyond dumb. But this is where we are. This is where we're living right now. Lily, now would be the time for the mega churches to shelter the people. Hey, finally get them doing something, right? That'd be sick.
Going on in our minds, and this is not only in our minds, but this is what is going on in this community.
Judy Ashworth has lived in Morristown for decades.
this whole ICE business, it's so cruel, I think, so sadistic, and so scary. What is happening? It's terrifying. I think it's terrifying. You know, they're masked up, they have guns, they're not afraid to use them. It's horrifying. And it really is very reminiscent of what happened in Nazi Germany.
Yeah, I mean, again, this is like this is a small town in New Jersey. This could be like anywhere. All right, this is literally like you would not expect this kind of shit to be going down in this town, regardless of the demographics. Like, it's just one of those towns you just wouldn't expect it.
And those two women that we spoke to said that they cut their power walk short today because they realized that one of them forgot to bring along her U.S. passport. They say that is how afraid they are that they have to go around carrying their documents to prove that they are U.S. citizens. Now,
and you shouldn't have to do that. Like, if you're a documented U.S. citizen, like, don't they have, like, a digital database or some shit? Like, what do they even fucking... Why do they even have that shit? If not Nazi, why Nazi shape? Exactly. No, it's Nazi shit, 100%. Right on the money.
we are hearing that there is supposed to be a protest against ICE here at 6 o'clock here in Morristown outside the Hyatt Hotel. For now, we're live here in Morristown. Tony Yates, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
And there was about I think 100 people out there. You know, it was not a bad turnout. But I just wanted to share that with you guys because, like, you know, I know for my parents, they were Republican years ago, and then my dad went Libertarian. And we have debates all the time, and I talk with them all the time about my politics, and they, you know, get very nervous about my politics and stuff because it's, you know, what it is. But the reality is, you can't be neutral anymore, right? They would kind of consider themselves neutral on this stuff, even though I try to convince them, you know, if you're not doing anything is taking a side, is making a decision to be against something. But now, you know, it's happening right in front of their eyes. There's no denying it. There's going to be more and more people, maybe in your own life, who have not been convinced of things and may say things like this and start understanding. you know? Also, they're holding and arresting the Native American population. Yeah, Lily, they are. They literally just go after brown people. So if you have any sort of melatonin in your skin, any sort of any melatonin, sleepy pills. If you have any sort of melanin in your skin, if you have any sort of shade beyond, you know, white, reasonably white, then you're going to be targeted. So they don't care, you know. They don't care who they're actually targeting. Now, all that being said, I do feel like I owe you guys a palate cleanser. We just talked about ICE for a long time, okay? A long time. And that's tough. That's tough. Why don't we go to Canada for a story? Because the Canadians, they can often uplift our spirits with maple syrup tales and Rush songs, right? That is quite the case. Yes, the doggo. Marimba the dog. Marimba the dog. He's a sleepy boy. Now, in the face of authority, not everybody knows what to do. Okay, it's not always easy to stand up for yourself. However, this one plucky Canuck has given us an example we can follow. Because a New Brunswick man, whoops, hold on. Boop, boop, boop. New Brunswick, Canada. A New Brunswick man farted on a police officer. Yes, he took the low road, and he farted right on a cop. So let's dive into it. This is not some kind of Keep Canada Weird fan fiction. On Wednesday, a Sackville man admitted in court that during his arrest last summer, he intentionally pressed his backside into two Mounties and farted on them. Even don't worry, we're talking about Ice Hockey Yowie 2.0. Don't worry, Lily, we're getting there. I like to do a couple bite-sizers in between the biggins. Based and cloaca pilled. Oh my god, Ajax. I have to tell Tony about cloaca pilled. She's gonna love that. The incident began when a university student left the keys in his truck while moving into an apartment. When he returned, the truck was gone. Police later spotted the stolen vehicle with two men inside, including Jeremy Robert Weldon, 38, behind the wheel. When officers approached, Weldon reversed, sped past them, and fled through a field before getting the truck stuck and running on foot. Holy moly. After surrendering to a Mountie who had drawn a taser, man, police in other places are cool. You just get a taser drawn on you for doing that. After surrendering to a Mountie who had drawn a taser, Weldon was arrested. While being escorted into the detachment, prosecutors say he deliberately backed into one officer's hip and groin area and farted, then repeated the act on a second Mountie moments later. Weldon told the judge, cloaca farts are much worse, clarts. Yeah, Lily, this sounds like a Bam Margera or a Baramanga plot. I don't know what a Baramanga. I thought it was Bam Margera. Weldon later told the judge he was drunk, embarrassed, and apologized, calling his behavior childish. He was sentenced to 6 months conditional sentence, including house arrest and curfew time. And the officers also got to buttercup him. 75 hours of community service and 1 year driving ban and $1,200 in fines. Did Wario get arrested? Yes. Amazing. All right, just a simple little fart tale, everybody. You know, like I was saying to Lily, I like to cleanse your palate immediately and quickly. Once we do a little bit of big stuff like that, you know, I don't like to leave you guys hanging on the heavy. At least not for too long. That was my computer, by the way. If you just heard a bing and you went, what's my computer doing? So look, gang. Here's the Here's the long and short of it, which is a great way to segue into this. I want to tell you guys about. Oh no! This is my. Hold on. Let me pull up my other thing. I've got an Uma Muse. What is that? How do you pronounce that game's name? Uma Musume. Uma Musume, the horse game. I've got a video on that coming out soon, guys. There was an interesting Uma Musume anti-AI crossover situation, which is like awesome. So that is what he said. You're absolutely right about that. So I wanted to tell you guys about. Let me pull up a couple links here because we're gonna dive into a little bit of a gacha gooning story. Okay. Yes, the horse racing game, Lily. Yes, I have an Uma Musume. Uma Musume, is that how you say it? There, yes. And apparently the fans of Uma Musume are the best. Okay? We will dive into that. But first, we have to talk about Uma Musume. Uma Musume. Is that how you say it, writer? God, I can't imagine. Writer can speak Japanese, so I imagine anytime I say something remotely Japanese, they probably die a little bit on the inside. So anyway, this is a little bit of a story. You know, we often we like to talk about the commodification of the goon around here, right? So this is not Uma Musume right now. This will be next time. Horse Princess Racing, yes. That I'm going to do a video on because I feel like that needs a song, right? I feel like what I'm going for in that video needs to be accompanied by music. So that one I do feel like needs a commodification of the goon type track to go with it. But we will be covering a gacha game, a gooner game. I don't know how goonery this game is, but I've not heard of it. Maybe some of my gacha homies in the chat can enlighten me a little bit on it. But a gacha game, you can mod the goon. I'm sure you can mod the goon. I'm sure you can goon the mod the goon. I'm sure there's all sorts of things you could do. So this game is a new gacha game called what is this game called? Arknight's Endfield. Arknight's Endfield. Does anybody know that game? I cannot keep up with how many of these gacha games come out. It's not volleyball, unfortunately. Is there a volleyball one? So many Gooner gachas nowadays. Yep. It's very hard to keep up. Yes, Arknight's Endfield, I believe it's called. Yes, it's new. Yes, Lily. I'm giving you guys the hot. I give you the hot fresh. Okay? I give you the latest and the greatest. The news stories that the other streamers have not covered yet. Usually. Sometimes. Give or take. All right? But I'll give you that stuff early, you know? Akari! Haha, gotcha. Oh. Akari's coming in with a hot, fresh pun. Pun in the goon, goon in the pun. So, let's dive into this new game here, okay? Kermit, we should only do goon games from now on. Yes. Can't remember the stupid goon ball. Yes, we should. Yeah, on Thursdays. Maybe we just change Thursday's gaming stream to solely gooning games. And I only do gacha. Maybe I just absolutely reverse on that one. Okay. So, a new gacha game takes gambling to a whole new level by accidentally charging purchases to random people's PayPal accounts. Classic. All right. Now, as a gotcha service. In a way, I mean, you're almost kind of doing that, you know? How'd they mess up with the PayPal payments? I have no fucking clue. Like, literally, I have no fucking clue. Ah, okay, Lily. Lily, give us a little, if we're going through and you know a little bit about the story, let me know. I've got a couple articles here that paint out the story, the developer response, and what they blame it on. So, let's get into this, okay? So, this is a story of waifu misappropriation, okay? What's better than spend your money? I love. Hell yeah, baby. I say it every time. I love a little. This is like PC games, so obviously they're gonna have a little fun with it. But I always love an article where they clearly had a little fun with the editorial, with a little bit of the writing. So what's better than spending your money gambling for waifus? Oh, Lily, not gonna ruin the surprise? I love to hear that. That makes me excited. A lot of these times when I pull these stories, I don't know a lot of what happened. So I'll pull a couple articles and I'll get a bit of the outline. But we'll get into it. So I like to keep myself fresh. I'm a virgin to the situation here. So let's all pop on this one together, shall we? What's better than spending your that was fucking disgusting. I hate myself for that. What's better than spending your money gambling for waifus? Someone else using your PayPal to gamble for their waifus. Kermit, I hate gambling and gaming too. I hate gambling in general. I think it's incredibly predatory. But I do not blame those that play the gacha games. That's your money. You do what you want with it. I support you. But surely, okay, wait. Actually, that's worse. This article is wild with it. But surely that would never happen, right? Well, for an unlucky few players, diving into the launch of a new gacha game, Arknight's Enfield, it's exactly what happened. Enfield users have found their PayPal accounts getting charged for other players' purchases, leading developer Hyperglyph to temporarily halt PayPal transactions. Meanwhile, I'm over here trying to figure out how something like this is even possible in the first place. They hit me. I don't like to add the editorial sentences sometimes, like that one, but sometimes the train's going, I don't even know. Taking a gander over at the official Arknight's Enfield Discord server, and it seems like the issue was noted fairly early into the game's launch, as one member posted, "I'm getting other people's accounts for PayPal," before warning other people to disconnect their PayPal payment from the game entirely just 20 minutes later. That's crazy. Yeah, I don't even know how that happens. Screenshots began to crop up of PayPal statements showing multiple charges from Hyperglyph in multiple different currencies. All I purchased was the monthly pass for $7.34 Canadian, yet I was charged $108 Canadian in a different currency after. Wow, that's not small potatoes. After another user reported on the server, one Discord screenshot showed their account charged in US dollars, Canadian dollars, Japanese yen, and euros across 10 different purchases. Holy shit. So not only is your PayPal account getting jacked up, it's like an international jacking. That's insane. Holy fuck. Now, speaking of Discord servers, guys, if you want to join our community, we have a lovely little community in our Discord server. Go ahead and join it if you'd like. I'm going to go pop that in the chat. If you're not a part of it already, highly recommend you get in there. We do a lot of fun things. We chit, we chat, we shoot the shit, and it's shits and giggles all day, all the time. So if you want to join, go ahead and join. There's the link right there, but let's continue on here. One of the top posts on the game subreddit right now shows one user who was charged 1,302, is that euros? I always get confused between euros and pounds, but that's euros, right? 1,302 euros by someone making a purchase in Japan. They reported that they were refunded about 4 hours later, so a quick resolution, thankfully, but certainly not one that should ever even have to happen in the first place. Holy shit. So who's spending 1,302 euro on a gacha game? Does anybody know anybody who actually spends that, like, kind of significant money on this stuff? I need to get in their mind. I need to know. Who drops this kind of money? And what can I do for you to get that money? Do I have to create little digital assets for you? I'll do it. I'll take a little picture of my digital assets and I'll send them right to you. Oh, euro is the curvier one. Pound is the one that looks a little more regimented. Thank you, Lily. Holy shit. I appreciate that. That's my American right there. The top... Oh, whalers. Yep, yep, it's whales. But, like, mega gooners for sure. 1K sounds normal for whale gotchas? For real, Lily? Whoa, that's crazy. Gooners make the payments over months? What? Are the gooners Klarnaing? They're like, are they doing Klarna for their wank material? Yo. It's crazy. Because, like, obviously the main appeal for the purchases isn't just flogging the dolphin, right? Because, like, I think where I get hung up and confused is, like, you can flog the dolphin. It's so cheap to flog the dolphin. It's free. One of the few free things in this world is to paddle your piddle. But people have found a way to pay for their own yank sessions. And that just blows my mind. We are truly like anything. There's everything on the internet. Maybe the spending of the money makes a little bit of the pickle wiggle. I don't know. But we will surely research. We will research. You haven't heard of how CN players of Love and Deep Space made their own temporary Silas theme plate? Lily, I gotta get you. Please join our Discord if you're not in there, because I feel like I need to get a bunch of stories from you. The cost to your magnesium levels cannot be repaid. Oh, that's so funny. That's not free, dang it, Akari. That's hilarious. Oh my god. Your poor magnesium levels. Think of the poor magnesium. The top comment on that Reddit post asks, is this the biggest gacha oopsie in years? I gotta say, yeah, I sure think so. Gacha games have suffered all sorts of launch and update woes over the years, but one thing you can usually rely on is the cash shop being airtight. I'm struggling to think of any other gacha that has ended up with such a huge security issue like this, and I imagine it's the last thing Hypergriff would have wanted to deal with on launch day. Yikes. Okay, so as of writing, PayPal payments are still disabled. Hypergriff says on the game's official X account that it began issuing full refunds for all PayPal orders created between 1:30 a.m. and 3:05 a.m., and those should be completed later today, January 22nd. Okay, this is a few days ago. No word on whether purchased goods will also be revoked, or whether a small number of cheeky players who likely took advantage of the exploit will be walking away with their riches intact. I mean, yeah, I think you should get, like, right? That's the apology. Anything you bought, like, boom. You know? Providing a stable and reliable service is a top priority for us, Hypergriff said. Data security is foundational to our services and core priority for Griffline. The PayPal payment option will remain disabled and will only be re-enabled after the issue has been fully resolved and thoroughly tested. Okay, so... Oh man, the comments on this. I don't think I want to read the comments. So a very unique situation here, right? PayPal payments somehow getting assigned to other people, and they're getting their free Gooner Gacha stuff from it. Okay, very interesting. What have the developers said about it? Let's see. Oh no, this is what I want. This one. Here we go. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's a totally different one right there. No, here it is. So this is about Arknight's Enfield. Yeah. So apparently this was a very anticipated game. Okay, lots of people wanted this game, and like Lily had mentioned, oh, I wonder if it's a mobile or a PC or both. That's a good point, Lily. I don't know. Well, let's see. We might get a little more information here. Did you guys hear my dog just cough like an 80-year-old man? It's the craziest sound. So Arknight's Enfield, as we heard, the launch was bad. And they were getting all their PayPal. So here's, oh, shoot. This is one of the receipts. Let's see. Yeah, these are crazy. These are crazy. Okay, so all of them are around $10. Damn, I wonder if it's just one person getting hit. Yeah, that was a dog. That was my dog. Yes. He's a little, yeah, that's Marimba. He's a little on the older side these days, you know? He's got a little bit of an old man cough. He's a good boy, though. We love him. So all those payment issues we're going through. So, okay, so this is like kind of what it was happening on the scene as it happened firsthand, right? So on Reddit, one player said they were attempting to buy something and someone else's PayPal got saved to their account and they were charged the wrong amount entirely. So it's got to be something on the dev side where, like, I guess when they're buying something, something is getting misrouted. Like the PayPal information that is maybe being saved within the game is something on that side is happening. I'd imagine it's not anything to do with PayPal, literally. Thankfully, I managed to catch this before confirming my payment, but I tried to pick up the monthly pass using PayPal, and the game tried to charge me $1,200 for it. The monthly pass typically costs $10. All right, so now it's definitely something on the side with the thing there, on the dev side. A third screenshot shared by JC Trick showed a PayPal payment of almost $3,300 failing, while a fourth showed a slew of transactions, each with varying amounts and in different currencies, including Japanese yen, euros, US dollars, and Canadian dollars. Update, it looks like once players link their PayPal to their Arknights accounts, other players' transactions are being charged to them as demonstrated in the clip below.
Oh, this might be another monthly pass. Oh, I think this is the symbol for monthly pass too. I bought another motherfucker in Japan monthly pass maybe. I don't fucking know. What is this shit?
Shout out Jason Jun for buying me a monthly pass, battle pass, and my homie across the world in Japan a monthly.
So these are so far the ones I can see. 99 fucking pesos, Mexican pesos for a pase mensual. And then this was my own. This is mine, right? For reference, right? English and then that. This is a monthly pass for 610 Japanese yen, which is not me, because I don't use Japanese yen. This is a chat saying this is a battle pass that someone bought with 1220 Japanese yen. And then this is a Mina Una Bolsa de Orid, I don't know what the fuck, for $23, which again isn't me because I don't fucking use Spanish. Grand Vision Arsenal for €1, which is...
That's so weird. It's so weird that there's other currencies and shit. So the publishers say, we've received reports that the PayPal payment channel is currently undergoing temporary maintenance and upgrades. It said in a message on social media, quote, all affected administrators are advised to use other available payment channels. Transactions involving abnormal item delivery or payment deduction will be handled accordingly. So weird. It comes as no surprise given that most gacha games launch with technical disaster, but none have quite affected players as much as this one. It's probably best to stick to the free rewards for now. Yeah, that's so weird. I don't know what's up with that. But anyway, that's what's going on in the gacha world there. A fun little side thing that I just thought was interesting considering you know, it's gambling, but they're totally messing up the payment side of it, which is like, I feel like the one thing that you definitely got to get right. So now the question is, writer says, now the question is, are normal card transactions going as planned, or are they also messed up like PayPal? I don't know. Considering it's the open, it's like the beginning thing. I don't know if maybe they're not taking even the card transactions. I don't know. Very, very weird. But you know what else is weird? We'll pop it off, since that didn't end up taking quite as long as I thought it would. I'm going to pop in 2 extra little mini stories here. One of them being about the Pentagon. We've talked about the Pentagon before. You know the guys. You guys know the Pentagon, right? 5 points. Now, what have I told you? One of the weird things that they've got at the Pentagon right now is a Pokemon card loot box machine. Why? I don't know. I don't know what we're doing anymore. Why is this a thing that's happening right now? But it is, apparently. Here's photos of it. So, a Pokemon card loot box machine has reportedly been installed at the Pentagon. The Pentagon has reportedly... Oh, the pentagram. Yes. It's operating more like the pentagram right now. The Pentagon has reportedly... I returned from the mud... It's your mother. I hope the mud bowl is what I think it is. The Pentagon has reportedly installed a Pokemon card vending machine inside its main food court after photos of the unit circulated online in late January. Now, look, I know, Akari, this is literally what I was about to say. I was like, the priorities of what's going on in our country are absolutely fucked. So Akari said, I can't get Snap, and they get Pokemon. Like, what is going on? Like, gonna need a Pentagon Pokemon card index next, 100%. Oh, for those who are not familiar with the pizza index, it's the Pentagon Pizza Index. It lets you know if they're ordering pizzas, military actions going on. But Akari also made me aware of the Waffle House Weather Index. If you guys know anything about, if you've ever heard anything about that, it's basically, how bad is the weather around you? If the Waffle Houses are closed, that's like apocalyptic. Anyway, that's just fun. We like our indexes around here. The claims first surfaced through a Reddit post on the r/army subreddit, where users shared images of what appeared to be a Pokemon-themed loot box style machine offering sealed packs and mystery items. Just so weird that, like, holy shit, like, absolutely doing, like, predatory capitalism inside the Pentagon to the staff. I mean, it's not that weird. It's American. American as shit. But goddamn, these kids just cannot. And you see, they put that old school Charizard on here to get us millennials triggered. I was born in '92. I see that card. I go, that's the exact card that motherfucker on the bus in Georgia stole from me that I never got back. Lily, yes. The real question is, will the scalpers get them before the actual soldiers? Now, I was going to say, because just on Thursday, or just last week, we covered a story about Pokemon scalpers who went into a store and actually committed an armed robbery. Now, this is like kind of reverse. Like, you are a violent appendage of American imperialism, but you gotta have your Pokemon cards. I don't know. The post said that the machine was installed in mid-December and was located in the primary dining area used by Pentagon employees and visitors. The unusual placement quickly drew attention across social platforms, with commenters questioning why a collectible card vending machine had appeared inside the headquarters of the United States Department of Defense. Yeah, like, the Pentagon, so this is the post from Reddit. The Pentagon recently installed these Jersey/Pokemon card / crypto gambling machines. What should an army version gamble on? Like, so weird. And that's actually absolutely what these things are. They're like, They're gambling machines. Lucky Box Vending. So this is the company that installed it. Lucky Box has officially arrived at the Pentagon. This is so fucking weird. Collectible mystery box machine. Labubu's for the army? Get the boys on the Labubus now. Get them ready for it. All right, so these are the photos here. Images shared online show the machine stocked with Pokemon branded products and positioned among other food court fixtures. The post that triggered the discussion described the unit as expensive and marketed around the chance of receiving rare cards. The Lucky Box features a CGC 10 Charizard card graphic on the side of it, but the massive screen on the vending machine makes it clear that it offers more than just Pokemon cards. According to the Daily Dot, the company builds the vending machine posted about its installation on Christmas Eve 2025, but eventually deleted the announcement. Okay, that's interesting. That's strange. Why did they delete the announcement? They should, Lizard, they should have insider trade on those current events betting apps. Yeah. The Kalshi Pokemon trade. There's going to be like, will Sergeant Dickenballs pull a holographic Pikachu? Who's got the over/under on that? Yeah, they definitely already do. Oh my God, scalpers! Ajax, you're so right. Scalpers are gonna raid the Pentagon. That's the next. The next logical step now is the scalpers have basically gone everywhere they can. Where's the next place you go? You go straight to the belly of the beast, right into the wheels of government, right into the cog of the machine, and you extract the Pokemon cards straight from there. I have no doubt in my mind that that's where scalpers are going next. You guys are so right about that. My goodness. What a world we live in. All right, so that's Pokemon in the Pentagon, okay? And new Trojan horse dropped. That is funny. That is funny. Let's do one more. I got one more for you guys. Let's do this is great. Let's just do. So look, there have been, I don't know if you guys have seen like all the official posts from the White House, Department of Homeland Security. It's all these like AI generated images of them looking to take over Greenland, and they're really heavily leaning on the Arctic operations that they're planning, for lack of a better term. Trump has been posting pictures of like him with a penguin walking around. He wants icy things going on. Now, what's kind of funny about that is as an army, the U.S. Army is not prepared for that at all. As a matter of fact, the American Army, the U.S. Army, had their butts handed to them by the Finnish troops during an exercise in Norway. So really, really not ready for anything involving the snow. As we've kind of seen by ice as well. But U.S. Army is poorly prepared for Arctic operations, and Finnish troops forced them to surrender during exercises in Norway. Now, I don't know much about military stuff, but I know this sounds funny. I'm against imperialism, and I don't know, what do we need to be doing Arctic military operations for? Come on. Despite Trump's statements about his intentions to protect Greenland, the U.S. Army has limited capabilities for operations in the Arctic. In addition, the U.S. military lags behind Scandinavian countries and the U.K. in terms of training for operations in cold climates. This was reported by The Times. As noted in the publication, the U.S. has limited military resources and experience for operations in the Arctic. It is the European NATO allies, primarily the Scandinavian countries and the UK, that have troops capable of operating effectively in this region. And one of the publication sources in military circles said that during NATO's annual winter exercises, Joint Viking, in northern Norway in 2025, American troops, quote, encountered difficulties. Okay? So as much as, Trump will talk about, shit about NATO or all these different things, we can't, we can't do the same things as some of the other places. Even if we have a big ass army, we can't be going in these snowy spots. All right, the boys can't sled. They're not good with the snowshoes. The Finns had to be told to stop beating up on Americans because it was humiliating and demoralizing, the source said. The U.S. also depends on Finland for advanced icebreaker fleet technology. Oh, Lily. Lily with a banger. I thought they love ice. Come on, that's great. The U.S. also depends on Finland for advanced icebreaker fleet technology. In particular, the U.S. has ordered 11 icebreakers from Finland, 4 of which will be built in Finnish shipyards and the rest in the U.S. The scheme should allow American shipbuilders to gain experience from their Finnish partners and gradually transfer production to the shipyards in the U.S. Yeah, it's your mother. They're also proud and strong. The U.S. Army got their ass whooped. That's ironic. Absolutely. Like, this is the funny thing that I think, from within the country, a lot of people maybe don't realize as, we beat our chests and we go, we're the best army in the world or whatever. The world is not just the U.S. If they want to take the fight to other fronts, like, it's just not as simple as they might like to make things always sound, right? Like, if America's like, we're going to take over Greenland with a military operation or whatever, it's just not going to be as clean as it sounds whenever Trump says it, okay? Which is just to say, I hope there's some hope for other parts of the world where they get scared of maybe things that Trump says, and it's like, don't worry, Finland is still kicking our ass. Ajax, big airsoft military sims are pretty cool. Some fun videos about it. Some Euro military will play with civilians. That's interesting. I would definitely watch a video about that, like a big airsoft military sim. That's crazy. Lily, they just love showing off their toys. Look at the U.S. bases around the world. Oh, 100%. Well, and Lily, the other thing is, too, they like having their bases around the world, and they also like using those bases as a place to test technology before they bring it in for the U.S. citizens, right? Like Israel and their AI surveillance capabilities, that's what we're seeing in the U.S. right now. And that absolutely makes sense because Israel is a proxy for the U.S., across the world. So, it all comes back to us, and it all goes around. But, ultimately, there's plenty of flaws. Finland can still beat us in a snowball fight. All right? Oh, there's a stalker role-playing airsoft thing every year? That's crazy. So they want to have Americans build more of the icebreaker ships in the U.S. Because Trump's big thing is the Arctic right now. The Europeans have the know-how. If Trump wants to protect the region, he is choosing the wrong path by irritating his Arctic allies, said another source in military circles. There's no immediate threat, but Greenland is rich in minerals. Everyone wants a piece of the pie, so there are long-term security and commercial risks that need to be managed. NATO has a good strategy for the use of forces that can be expanded if necessary, but the role and purpose must be agreed upon, said General Sir James Everett, former Deputy Supreme Allied Commander of Europe. According to Trump, the U.S. has reached agreements on full and indefinite military access to Greenland within the framework agreement with NATO. I'm sure, whatever. I'm sure it's the same shit that we've had before, but now he's just being like, I did it. I'm the best. According to Trump, the U.S. has reached agreements on full and indefinite military access to Greenland within the framework agreed with NATO. The announcement of the framework agreement came after Trump backed down from previous threats to impose tariffs and ruled out the possibility of a military takeover of Greenland. We love that. We just love when he backs down. Great shit. All right, everybody. That's where we're going to leave off for tonight. Join me on Thursday. Because when we come in on Thursday, Thursday is game night. We'll be gaming all night. And what are we gaming on this time? Well, a little piece of existential dread called Pathologic 2, a game full of decision making. It's basically a game with no good endings or good outcomes of anything. And it's bizarre and surreal, and it's gonna be strange. It's gonna be strange. So join us for that on Thursday, okay? Thank you guys for sticking around. I'm gonna have some new video essays coming out for you guys. As I mentioned, one of them is about Uma Musume, the horsey game, and its anti-AI fan base that basically forced a company to change the path they were on. So, yeah, good stuff. Guys, thank you very much. Everybody have a great night. I really appreciate you joining me and spending your time on the stream here. I value you guys so much. So, have a great night, and I will see you on the next